Jeffrey Epstein did not just socialize with wealthy elites. He maintained documented contact with senior political officials across multiple different countries. And when those government connections became public knowledge through the release of the Epstein files, governments didn't just sit around. They responded. And now we have a slew of investigations all across the world. For example, in Norway, there's currently an ongoing external inquiry into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And this is a rare occurrence, it's not something that happens every day. And this happened after the reveal that there were senior Norwegian political figures who were in contact with Jeffrey Epstein. In addition to the investigation into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we also had ethics reviews launched, as well as a Norwegian foreign ambassador resign from his position. And law enforcement agencies in the country of Norway are now starting to investigate potential political corruption charges. See, this kind of response is not just to save face on the world stage. You wouldn't be going through this much effort and manpower unless you think there's a serious political risk. And sticking with foreign affairs officials, in Slovakia there was also a senior member who had been connected to Epstein through the files. His communications had previously not been made public, and after it came to light that he was in contact with Jeffrey Epstein, his position within the Slovakian government became unmanageable, resulting in the official stepping down from his position. And in Poland, the government also ordered a high-level investigation into its own ministers following communications between, you guessed it, them and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, no arrests have been made, but the investigation is ongoing in that country as well. And the same is happening in Baltic countries, but there's an additional concern because the investigations there are focusing on trafficking as well as political corruption. And so we can see that multiple governments across the world are all tackling this with the same amount of authority as well as caution. And the amount of resources poured into these investigations proves that it is not just about saving face. And especially because we can see in this pattern that oftentimes it was the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that has come under scrutiny. And these are not just symbolic places where people go to hang out and have coffee and tea with ambassadors. They are geopolitical and strategic organizations designed to manage international relations. So one has to wonder, why did Epstein make so many connections in the political world, but more specifically in this sector of it? Not many members for the Department of Transportation in the Epstein files. And of course, one of the most reported things in the Epstein files was that Epstein himself was cultivating a relationship with a top Russian official, which led some people to speculate that he may have been a Russian intelligence asset. However, former CIA operator, as well as current critic, John Kiriakou, suspects that there's a potentiality that Epstein was actually working for the Israeli government. All that being said, no public espionage case has been opened thus far, and nothing has been proven when it comes to him being anyone's intelligence asset. And all of this matters from a geopolitical perspective because the truth is, real power is not just in treaties and not even just tanks on the battlefield. It's how much influence do you have over the individual people who can influence whether a tank goes here or whether this treaty gets signed there. And when you look at the network that Epstein was cultivating, it becomes abundantly clear that he was selective about the individuals that he truly wanted a strong connection with. Because as you know, it wasn't just political figures, it was also billionaires as well as academics, the people with their hand on the levers of power. And this is what I want you to take away from this video, because the media has portrayed the release of the Epstein files as just this big scandal, where you had one rich criminal who just so happened to have this network of people who were also just rich criminals. But actually, it's more than that. There's a geopolitical strategy at play here. Now, what exactly that is has not been confirmed. However, next time you turn on the news and you see something that's not directly related to the Epstein files, and you see geopolitical shifts happening or conflicts being started, I want you to remember that there are actors in the background who often have influence over these events. And trust me on this, if governments weren't scared that this is a possibility, they would not be investing millions of dollars into investigating potential corruption. Because truly in geopolitics, connection is real power.